Mom, if Dad's not around, the company falls to me. My brother's words hung in the air, leaving me in disbelief. Our mother, Patricia, responded matter-of-factly, "Well, obviously, Daniel. Plus, if you do the math, there's a sizable inheritance in Plan B with Dad's life insurance. We could live large for a while. It's like a bonus, huh? Got to thank our absent dad." I felt a surge of anger building inside me. What was wrong with these people? This was unforgivable. I couldn't let them have their way. Just as I was about to explode, I received a call from Dad in the hospital. Let me backtrack a bit. My name is Christopher. I'm a 33-year-old architect working at a design firm. I moved out of our family home and now live alone in a nearby condo. Being single can be a little lonely, but I love my job and lead a fulfilling life. Today, I had a day off and plans to meet with my dad, James. "Ah, Christopher, how have you been?" Dad showed up for a meetup with his usual warm smile. "Dad, long time no see. Have you lost some weight?" "Running a business must be tough," I remarked. "Work keeps me busy, but I'm doing well. Let's get going." I occasionally meet up with Dad like this to catch up over a meal. Today, Dad invited me to join him for some volunteer work at a small children's care facility on the outskirts of town. We were greeted by Mr. Smith, the friendly elderly director. Dad and Mr. Smith were chatting away warmly. Turns out, Dad grew up in this facility. After leaving it, he put himself through college and started his own architecture firm. Even without any relatives to rely on, he made it on his own efforts, and I've always admired him for that. On his day off, Dad often invites me to volunteer at the facility with him. Since we both have backgrounds in architecture, we can repair furniture and playground equipment. "James, Christopher, you've helped a lot today," Mr. Smith thanked us as we were leaving. I felt good about making a difference, and for Dad, visiting Mr. Smith, who's like a father to him, must be important too. As we walked side by side, pondering where to grab a bite, a sleek black luxury car pulled up next to us. The window rolled down and out popped Mom, driving the car with my brother Daniel. Well, look who it is. Back from the care facility again, are we?" Mom's tone was cutting. "Mom, it's embarrassing to have a dad without parents. Can we stop this already?" I pleaded. "Let's go," my brother spoke, chomping on his gum. I wanted to retort, to tell him that he should be the one feeling embarrassed, an adult with no stable job and dyed hair. But I held back. There was no point in saying anything to these people. It would be a waste. "Daniel and I are going to dinner. You two can grab some fast food, and don't forget to fold the laundry, all right?" Patricia instructed. Dad responded with a simple "understood." And without another word, Mom rolled up the car window and they drove off. Dad and I just watched them go, saying nothing. Mom and my brother looked down on Dad, belittling him at every turn. Honestly, Mom might be beautiful on the outside, but that's about it. The reason they can do all this is that they're basically living off Dad's income. They've been trash-talking him for as long as I can remember, saying he's a deadbeat from an orphanage, that he has no ambition or excitement in his life. They probably only see Dad as a wallet that listens to their every demand. What's worse, my brother Daniel eats all of this up and joins in on making fun of Dad. Our family has 2 kids, but Mom has always lavished her love only on Daniel. She's pretty much ignored me, giving Daniel whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Thanks to that, Daniel still clings to Mom like a child. Even in his 30s, he still calls her mommy and lets her dictate even what he wears and eats. When I heard that Mom accompanied him to every driving lesson, I was floored. "Dad, isn't it hard living with those two?" I asked my dad that question. "I'm used to it. Besides, they're still family. I have to do what I can," Dad said in a lonely voice before heading back to the house he shares with Mom and Daniel. All I could do was watch him go. A month passed, and I got a call from Mom saying that Dad had collapsed. So I rushed to the hospital. "Dad, what on earth happened to you?" I asked, seeing him looking even more fragile than a month ago. I received the devastating news after undergoing some tests. My dad had cancer, and it was advanced. According to the doctors, he had only about 3 months to live, give or take. It was a shocking blow. especially considering he was only in his 60s. Even my mom, typically composed, was visibly shaken. Why did you let things get to this point? Mom's voice trembled with emotion as she addressed Dad, her concern evident. Because you and Daniel have been pushing Dad too hard. You know he's been stressed out, I interjected, unable to hold back my frustration. How dare you speak to your parents like that? You're nothing like Daniel, Mom shot back defensively. And what is Daniel doing at a time like this? Off gambling again? I couldn't help but accuse. While Mom and I were arguing, Dad spoke up quietly, trying to diffuse the tension. Both of you stop. I'm fine. Go home for today, he insisted, his voice fairly audible. Feeling remorseful, I left the hospital room, but between my worries for Dad's health and the shock of his prognosis, sleep eluded me that night. Determined to support Dad, I took on the responsibility of bringing him a change of clothes and doing his shopping, as he requested. But neither Mom nor my brother lifted a finger to help. Despite their indifference, I wanted to make Dad's time as comfortable as possible. During breaks from work, I would pop into his hospital room and take care of him. This routine continued for 2 months until one day when I went back to my parents' house to gather some of Dad's belongings. As I entered the living room, I overheard Mom and my brother conversing. Mommy, once Dad is gone, the business is all mine, right? Daniel's words stunned me, prompting me to listen more closely. That's not a given, Daniel. But if you do the math, there should be around $2 million in inheritance. Mom replied casually. Wow, that's awesome. Maybe I should buy another car, Daniel exclaimed eagerly. Why not? You'll be the company president, so you should drive a nice car. Thanks to his life insurance, we can live a little lavishly for a while. It's like a bonus. Got to thank Dad for not being around, Mom remarked, her words sending a surge of anger coursing through me. What kind of trash are these people? I seethed silently, feeling the weight of their callousness and greed. It was unforgivable. I couldn't stand by and let them have their way. Just as I was about to unleash my anger, I received a message from Dad. Christopher, can you come to my hospital room alone? Despite the storm of emotions within me, I managed to contain them and went to see my dad. He had lost even more weight recently, and his complexion looked bad. Christopher, thank you for always being there, he said weakly. What are you talking about, Dad? Just tell me what I can do to help, I replied, trying to maintain composure as I sat next to his bed. There's something important I need to talk to you about, Dad began. I listened quietly, holding back the tears as he spoke. Visiting hours are almost over, so I'm going to head out. But about what we discussed, Dad, just focus on taking care of yourself for now, I interrupted, feeling the weight of the situation. Ah, thank you, Christopher. See you later, Dad said softly. In the end, that was the last conversation I had with my dad. He took a turn for the worse shortly after and passed away the next day. I held his emaciated hand in the hospital room and cried. My mom and brother also put on a show of tears, but this time things got tough. Mom was technically in charge of the funeral, but of course, she didn't lift a finger. Instead, she showed up at the funeral all dolled up in makeup and tried to cut corners on the costs. He doesn't even have any relatives. Why not keep it simple? She remarked callously. Dad's co-workers and business associates are coming to the funeral. Don't embarrass us with that kind of talk, I retorted, feeling a surge of frustration. Today, while getting his necktie tied by Mom, Daniel chimed in, just do what Mom says. Don't waste money on a dad like that, Christopher. Daniel, just be quiet. If it's about money, I'll handle it. At least let me give Dad a proper send-off, I insisted, feeling a sense of duty. So, I ended up taking charge of the entire funeral. It seemed Dad was well loved by many people. Lots of folks came to pay their respects, which made me really happy. About a week had passed since the funeral ended when Mom spoke up. Now that we're a family of 3, finally got that person out of the picture. Now the $2 million inheritance is all ours, right? Daniel and Dad's company too. Man, I'm finally going to be the boss, Daniel added eagerly. Listen up, Christopher. You better give up your inheritance, got it? Mom demanded sternly. Just after the funeral had ended, they were already talking about this stuff, annoying me to no end. I replied calmly. Dad had already arranged all the inheritance matters with the lawyer. I have the contact details. My brother, surprised, exclaimed, What? Why didn't you say that sooner? Call the lawyer right now. That's right, Christopher. Hurry up, my mom urged. So I dialed the number on the business card that Dad had given me. Not long after the lawyer arrived, a woman in her mid-30s named Attorney Williams. I'm Attorney Williams. I've been authorized by James to handle matters concerning the inheritance. I'm very sorry for your loss, she said, shaking our hands. As we greeted the lawyer, my brother Grandin remarked, Wow, I thought lawyers were all old dudes. You're quite a looker. Got a boyfriend? Oh, Daniel, do you like her? Mommy prefers someone younger. Knock it off, both of you. I scolded, feeling irritated. Thank you for coming all this way. Please come in. Mom intervened, trying to maintain decorum. We ushered Miss Williams into the room and listened to what she had to say. Let me explain. First of all, concerning the company, James had told me before he passed that it would be transferred to an acquaintance's company. I've been proceeding with the paperwork. What? What does that mean? I was supposed to become the CEO. I've heard nothing of the sort. My brother exclaimed, his voice rising in frustration. For the sake of the employees, the company will be merging with a trusted and skilled company that your father was fond of. The other company has already agreed, so there's nothing that can be done. Attorney Williams explained calmly. Darn outsider. Darn it. My mom hurriedly chimed in, trying to soothe the situation. Calm down, Daniel. The inheritance is ours, right? It should be around $2 million, shouldn't it? My brother asked hopefully. No, there's nothing like that. The company was not doing as well as you think, and any remaining assets have been used to prepare for the company's transfer, Attorney Williams clarified matter-of-factly. What? What about our money? There should be $2 million coming in. Mommy, what's going on? My brother demanded, panic evident in his voice. Patricia has received a substantial life insurance payout. She has left a will expressing the desire to gift that money, Attorney Williams revealed. What are you talking about? We've already spent that on a new car. My mom exclaimed in shock. The lawyer, Dad had multiple insurance policies, right? What about those other payouts regarding life insurance? I inquired. James had canceled all policies before he passed. All I know is that the money was used up, Attorney Williams answered honestly. What? Where did all the money go before he died? Darn it! Was he planning to leave us without a dime? My brother exclaimed in disbelief. I watched as Miss Williams left, and my mom and brother lost their composure. As she departed, she said, It's tough, isn't it? All I could manage was a tight-lipped smile in return. Looking up at the night sky, I couldn't help but recall the last conversation I had with my father while we walked. Christopher, would you take over the company if I die? There might not be much in assets, but I should be able to leave you at least the insurance money. There should be enough of that, Dad had said. What are you talking about, Dad? I have replied, feeling a lump form in my throat. You were the only one in the family who was kind to me. I wanted to leave something for you at least. Dad, I respect you for building the company from scratch with your own hard work. I want to make it on my own too. I don't need the company or the insurance money, but if there's any inheritance left, I want you to use it as you wish. I'll help in any way I can. Christopher, thank you. Thank you. Dad had responded, his voice filled with gratitude. Walking along, lost in my thoughts, I realized I had arrived at the facility. Despite it being night, Mr. Smith was in the yard. When he saw me, he ran over in tears. Christopher, James passed away so suddenly. He told me not to come to the funeral, but actually, Mr. Smith, my dad was grateful for both you and the facility. I just found out too, a little while ago. James made a large donation to the facility, a really large one. Now we can buy the things the kids need. We might even be able to renovate. Thank you, I explained, my own voice trembling with emotion. But I wish James could have lived. I wish he could have been happy, Mr. Smith murmured, wiping away his tears. While comforting a tearful Mr. Smith, I found myself crying too. Looking up at the starry sky, I whispered in my heart, "Dad, you did it. You really did it." And a few months later, I had been meeting with lawyer Miss Williams periodically to navigate the complex legalities of transferring the company and settling the estate. This meeting was to be our last. After expressing my gratitude for her support, Miss Williams offered her condolences once more, comforting me in a considerate manner. As I saw off Miss Williams, I couldn't help but contemplate that I might never see her beautiful face again. She had been such a kind and gracious person. Just then, as I waved goodbye, a familiar car pulled up beside Miss Williams, and out jumped my brother wielding a metal bat. "Hey, what the heck are you doing?" I yelled, quickly tackling my brother to the ground. "Shut up! Let go of me!" he shouted, his face turning red as I held him down. "Were you trying to attack Miss Williams? What's going on?" I demanded, shocked by his actions. "Because of her, I didn't get the company or the money. It's her fault, damn it," my brother ranted. "That's ridiculous. This isn't Miss Williams' fault," I retorted, incredulous at his accusation. I had thought him foolish, but this was beyond anything I had expected. Shielding a trembling Miss Williams, I called the police. Inside my brother's car, not just a bat, but also a rope and a stun gun were found, clearly weapons. He was swiftly arrested. When our mother found out, she fumed, "You'd send Daniel to jail? Your own family? How heartless." I replied calmly, "I no longer consider you or him family. My only family was my late dad. I'm cutting ties with both of you." Mom continued ranting, but I ignored her and cooperated fully with the police investigation. I later found out that my brother had also been repeatedly harassing Miss Williams online, making vulgar comments and slandering her. Threats had even been made, and the police were in the process of identifying him. My brother was sentenced to jail for his attempted attack on Miss Williams. She also sued him in civil court for defamation, and he was ordered to pay damages. Please take every penny he has if that'll make him reflect on his actions. I'm truly sorry for all this. I apologize to Miss Williams. Upon my apology, Miss Williams gave a faint smile and said, "I'll do just that. Thank you for saving me from a dangerous situation. From now on, I hope you at least find happiness, Christopher." Several months later, when spring arrived. Today, I found myself at Sakura Garden, but it wasn't for volunteering. It was for a business meeting. Thanks to the funding from my father's donation, the aging facility was planning a renovation. Mr. Smith had approached me for the architectural design. Initially, I declined, citing my inexperience. But Mr. Smith was unyielding. James always proudly said, "Christopher will become an exceptional architect. He's already surpassed me. We can do this because of James," Mr. Smith insisted. "I'd really like for you to take on this project, Christopher." With sentiments like that, how could I say no? I wanted to create a wonderful building that brought even a small amount of happiness to the kids and Mr. Smith. I'm sure my dad would have been proud of that. As for my brother, well, he hasn't changed. Even after his sentencing, he's become even more irresponsible. Though he avoided jail due to probation, he still begs our mom for money daily, starts drinking in the afternoon, and gambles away what he borrows. My mom is being pushed around by my brother every day. The large house we lived in, thanks to my dad, along with the car bought with insurance money, were sold to pay for Miss Williams' compensation and my brother's bail. Now, it seems they live together in an old apartment. A friend told me she's lost her beauty, looks more like an old woman now. She brought this upon herself, but I hope she at least reflects on how she treated my dad poorly before he passed away and raised my brother to be such a mess. One last thing, I'm going to marry Miss Williams, the lawyer, soon. She told me in confidence that she felt attracted to me after I saved her from my brother's violent behavior. She's a bit on the serious side, but I really love her for her kindness and dependability. From here on, I aim to work hard and be like my dad, building a warm and loving home.